Hi everyone. So this is the third time I'm going to try to record this video because it's being a bit of a dummy today. So today's video is going to be about a product that I sell in my store, and if you're like me, you're going to want to see as many videos and as many suggestions as you can before you bring something home for your dog, especially if you're going to pay a good chunk of money for it. So today's video is going to be about the Kong. Now, Kongs have been around for many years. They were developed by a man who used to work on buses. His last name was Kong. And I believe the story goes that a piece of the suspension came off the bus, and it was shaped something like this. And this dog just loved the shape, loved to play with it, and that's kind of how Kong began. So there are three different, well, actually there's more than three. There's 5 different varieties of Kongs. I only own 2 of them. So I'm only going to be able to show you 2. The first one is their original. Now this is the extra huge size. So the red was their original Kong. As you can see, mine's already stuffed. I just pulled them out of the freezer, so they're a little sticky and my hands are cold. If you were wondering, I always label my Kongs, so this is one of Bella's. Just in case, I'm not home and somebody's dishing them out, or, we go somewhere and there's Kongs all over the floor. We don't know whose belongs to whose. Mine are clearly labeled who they belong to. So the red Kong is mostly what you'll see around. These guys are great for your average chewers. Puppies, I'll usually recommend the red Kong, although there is a puppy Kong. And these guys are great. I love that they're durable. They're obviously not indestructible. I've seen many dogs go through them, and I'll explain to you how you can help to prevent that. So there's the red Kong. There's also the black Kong, which is their extra tough variety. There's a blue Kong, which most people don't know. Most people mistake this for the puppy Kong, which is a blue and white marble, or pink and white. So this one actually will come up on an x-ray. In the event that your dog swallows it or swallows a piece of it, it'll come up on an x-ray, which makes it much easier to find and retrieve. There's also a senior Kong, which is sort of like the puppy Kong, very soft. So I love Kongs. I think every dog owner should have a Kong for their dogs. So when you're picking out a Kong, you're going to want to make sure that it's appropriate for your dog's size. Now, the rule of thumb is that the Kong should measure the same length of your dog's snout. If you have a smushy face dog, then you're going to want to make sure that, it correlates to the size of your dog. This would be suitable for a non-destructor boxer or maybe a bulldog. If your dog is or has a tendency to rip through their toys, then I always recommend that you go one size up. If you find that your dog isn't playing with the Kong as much, going a size in either direction might make it easier or harder. As you can see, the hole on this one is quite a bit bigger than the hole on this one. So if your dog is not or has a hard time getting everything out, this one might be a better choice. On the flip side, if your dog isn't picking the toy up, it might be too big and they might be scared to pick up the toy. Something a little smaller would be okay. Just make sure that your dog doesn't try to eat it. So once you've kind of picked out the Kong for you, there's a few things you can do with it. I think these are great for dogs who like to play with balls or who like to work for their toys. They are very erratic when they're thrown. They don't bounce in a straight line, so to speak. And they do make a good chewing toy because of the hole in the middle. They do have quite a bit of flex, and they will kind of bounce back against their jaws. So as a toy in general, this guy is great. Oh, my glasses. This toy is really nice if you just want to use it as a toy and not stuff it with anything. If you find that your dog isn't using it like that, stuffing it is a great way to give them something to do, keep them preoccupied. My guys usually get Kongs, either if it's really nice out and I don't want them sitting outside all day just kind of watching nothing. So I will give them a Kong for something to do. On Sundays we do a lot of house cleaning, so I usually kick the dogs outside and they get their Kongs. If we have to put the dogs in a kennel for one reason or another. We usually throw a Kong in there, and we always make sure that they're stuffed. Now, I've got mine stuffed with the Pets for Life needy treats. So this one I believe is salmon, and I believe there's one in the freezer that has turkey, turkey and bone. This one's salmon and bone. You can really stuff them with anything. I had a dog who loved macaroni and cheese. So Gunther, usually that's what we put in his. Actually, those marks on the front, I don't know if I can get them. Across here, he kind of ripped the top off because he loves his Kong. Daisy likes her lamb chop. You squeaking it, Daisy? Yeah. Hi, Stinker. So I've put just about everything in here. I've put baby food, Cheese Whiz, peanut butter. In the summer when it gets really, really hot, I'll put melon or anything really watery and stuff the bottom with either a cookie or a carrot and fill it up with like a watery solution and throw it in the freezer. Cookies, just plain old cookies, just shove them in there. Just about anything you can think of. Now, on the note of peanut butter and other things like that, if your dog is on a diet, be careful about how much you put in one of these. You don't want to spoil something or take it out of your dog's diet if you're going to, be putting it in a Kong and your dog's on a diet, which is totally cool. Like, most dogs will readily work for their food. So really, the options are limitless as to what you can put in here. I freeze mine as a general rule. If you do microwave them to melt the things in there, just make sure it's not too hot before you give it to your dog, because that sucks. So yeah, I definitely think everybody should own one of these, especially if you have a puppy. A lot of people seem to overlook this as a puppy thing, and I don't understand why. You want to teach your dog at a young age what it can and cannot chew on, and this is a great tool for teaching them that. Not only is it a tasty treat, but they learn that, by chewing on this, I get a reward. It's kind of like an all-in-one kind of system here. So there's that aspect of it. And if you're kennel training your dog, housebreaking, anything like that, you want to make sure that the kennel is considered a good thing. So if your dog loves Cheese Whiz, Bella will do just about anything for Cheese Whiz. Mind you, we don't kennel her very often at all, actually. But if we have to put her in our kennel for any reason, we know that Cheese Whiz and a Kong, well, she's happy. She is a happy girl. So bribery is a good thing for dog training. If you have to bribe your dog with a Kong to convince them that a kennel is okay, then this is a great way to deliver a good tasting treat. That's a little bit more challenging than just putting a cookie in there, and they kind of learn to accept the kennel as a good thing. Now, like I mentioned before, if your dog is a destructor, you're going to want to make sure that you go with a size bigger than what you require, and definitely go with a black or a blue Kong. If your dog's not as hard on their Kongs, then really any color will do. But definitely if you have a dog who likes to chew things apart, you're going to want to go with something a little bigger, like maybe this size. This is the largest size they have. And my St. Bernard has a hard time grabbing a hold of it. But if you have somebody who's going to want to rip this thing apart, then definitely go with the bigger size. So if you have any questions, post them below. I'm a big fan of Kong. You can get them just about anywhere. In price, depending on where you are, you're looking anywhere between $10 and $20. Size, the variety, etc. So if you have any comments, put them below. Any questions, stuff like that. And I will go on to my next review. Yay!